Shop smart, shop S-smart.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the new book, Who Dis?
I'm your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me for the first time, Mr. Chris Fisk. How you doing today, sir?
Yeah! Sunday! Tickets are still $5.
Right?
Oh, I love it.
Man. You know what's funny? I bought this soundboard from Wish like fucking 5 years ago, maybe a little less than 5 years ago, and I've gotten so much mileage out of this thing, it's fucking ridiculous, you know. And you know, it's kind of, there's something missing when I don't have the echo when I'm doing like a show out on the road. But yeah, I've definitely gotten my $40 worth out of this soundboard, man. I got lucky on Wish. Yeah. But yeah, welcome, man. We've chatted online. I think we've been on maybe a live stream or two on somebody else's channel. But this is the first time we're having you on New Book Who Dis. So welcome, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You've got a great looking book, man. Seriously, I was taking a look at the campaign a little earlier, and you know, it was a beautiful looking book.
Oh, sweet. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you reading anything cool right now? Anything that's tickling your fancy?
Let's see. Next on my my spinner rack is hold on. Let me get the book so that I can do the title justice. London Gothic #3.
Oh, okay, nice. Not familiar with that one.
Yeah, dude. So it's obviously an English indie book,
right?
8x11, full color. And if you're fans of like The Order 1866 or
nice,
yeah, it's like what is it? Vampire, werewolf, like whatever else monster hunting by gaslight.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. So got that Victorian era monster hunting vibe going on. Right on. That sounds like fun.
The good guys are, what's that Nietzsche quote about staring into the abyss and becoming
yes.
So, yeah, these guys are good.
Those who hunt monsters should be careful that they don't themselves become monsters.
Yeah, there you go. That's an even better one. Yeah, that's, you know, you've got this Irish guy that I would take my chances with werewolf.
Oh, your audio is breaking up bad, at least to me. Chat, feel free to chime in and let me know.
I'm noticing that, like, I'm looking at my my little portrait here, and it does a little spinny. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going on. I think the internet decided to do something today.
Oh yeah, well that's the way it always goes. It's Murphy's law of streaming, man. As soon as you're like, it'll work perfectly fine. You could be like, you know, streaming from Netflix and, you know, doom scrolling through Twix and, you know, having a chat on Facebook, and the internet will work just fine. The moment you go to live stream to promote your book, of course the internet is going to shit the bed.
Yeah,
happens to Feline and I all the time when I'm up visiting her. So,
well,
yeah. Roboting bad. Exactly. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. But we'll go ahead and say hi to the chat here. First in the chat and first in my heart, my beautiful, lovely lady, Skull Gorgeous.
Skull.
She says, "Hey, Chris," and she's dropping the link for all of you to go check out Infinitale Chronicles, War of the Trees, #2.
Oh yeah!
So go hit that link, and we'll be taking a look at that shortly. Some person wakes up. Guess it's time to drop links. What's up, some person? Welcome. Been in non-stream limbo for hours. Well, now you have a stream. Good sir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Yo, Dr. Mass Retro Elixir. Hail, sir. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah.
Let's see. And we got Miss Good Stuff in the chat. Hello, potty people. Swinging by to wish you well. Have a great night. Well, thank you. You as well.
Yeah.
Hope you and Miss Good Stuff are having a fantastic Memorial Day and anniversary weekend. Congratulations on 29 years.
Oh, mazel tov, you kids.
Let me go. What is it? To step on a glass or something like that? Or is that Greek? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. I'm not getting them mixed up.
Have fun storming the castle.
Have fun storming a castle. What a great movie, man. What a great movie. Liar! Get away from me, witch. I'm not a witch. I'm your wife.
The miracle. He's like, he's not all the way dead. He's mostly dead.
He said to blave, which we all know is to bluff. So what I think happened is we're all playing cards and such a quotable movie. Such a quotable movie.
Come on, you got a villain named Humperdinck? I mean,
yep. I mean, seriously. See, that is the key to like a timeless classic. You have a villain with the last name of Humperdinck. You know, has nothing to do with the rest of the story, but like a villain with an embarrassing last name like that, instant classic. Instant classic.
It's like we can't even say his name. It's like the Voldemort, like he who shall not be named.
Right?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Oh, Mandy Potemkin, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, classic. Yeah, I've had that clip on here for years. But yeah, it comes in handy often, especially on topic lists when people are rambling on and talking about things. Like, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Inconceivable.
Exactly. Oh man. So what was the name of that book you were talking about? You were kind of roboting there at the end.
Oh yeah, sorry. So London Gothic. It's a
London Gothic. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the A4 style, so it's like 8.5 by 11. It's not like your standard American size. Full color. It's like the Order 1886 or 66.
Yeah.
I remember the game. Pretty
Order 1886. Yeah, that looked like a really fun game. I never got a chance to play it. I heard that it seemed like a glorified tech demo, and that like it was really pretty and the gameplay was fun, but it cut short like way too early. Didn't really feel like a full game. So yeah, I never got a chance to play that, and now I just never get a chance to play video games at all. I'm too busy working on comics, which to be fair, this is what I've always wanted to do, so I'm not complaining. I do miss video games though.
Yeah, I got an arcade machine here, like a emulation machine. It's got like everything.
Yes.
And like, you know what analysis paralysis is? Like,
oh yeah. It's the same thing that happens whenever you like go to watch something on a streaming service. Yeah, there's you're spoiling for choice. You got too many choices.
Yeah, so I'm looking at like my arcade machine. It's got everything from the 70s all the way up to like the PlayStation 4.
That's amazing! Holy shit! Wow.
And I'm just staring at it, and I find myself like watching the attract mode kick in, and I'm like, oh, 1993. What
you need to do is set up like a random thing, like have like just a click, and then it just randomly picks a game for you to play, and then you play it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It kind of forces you into it.
Yep. And helping me design comic stands and dice towers. That is correct. Feline and I are making very cool things. I mean, I'm helping her design them, and she's actually doing like the hard work of like with the laser and making sure they engrave properly and come out correctly. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, right here I have an example. Here is one of the dice towers that we made. This is for my niece Zoe. This is her D&D character, Moonbrook, and she's 7. And as you can see, you drop the dice in there, it comes rolling out there, and when you're done, can easily just put it in the box there and store it. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And the other thing that we're making, let me set this up over here. The other thing we're making are comic stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are perfect for sitting on counters. For we're actually going to have a bunch of these at Heroes Con, booth number 268, y'all. Heroes Con in Charlotte coming up here. But yeah, you can fit about 10 regular issues in one of these racks. So yeah, they're sturdy. They're made out of basswood. So I mean they're not invulnerable, but they are pretty damn sturdy. And as you can see, we can customize them. I'm super special and not just short bus special because she painted this one for me. This was an experiment and it turned out pretty good, but we haven't nailed down doing painting yet. So right now we're just doing stains and engraving. But yeah, these can be customized with your logo. We did one for Fragaboom for my boy Fraga.
Hell yeah!
Did one with the Incredible Comics logo and the Black Flag logo on it. So yeah, we will have all kinds of cool stuff like that at Heroes Con this year.
Nice.
Some person is asking, Tree Wars, how does that work, Chris? Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
Does a maple get pissed at an oak? Probably.
Yeah, isn't there like a prog rock song about that?
Oh, I'm sure. It totally sounds like a Rush song or maybe a Dream Theater song. Ooh, dice towers are cool. Yeah, man, they are fun. If you feel like you're rolling like crap and toss it through a dice tower, it'll make sure it's totally random. And I found that I've rolled a little bit better using one of the dice towers, honestly. So yeah, it's worth it. And plus, it makes that awesome clackety clackety sound. Oh yeah.
You don't have to listen for them either when you roll on the table and there's like, where'd it go?
What? I have a metal set of dice, and like the D6 literally looks like the lament box from Hellraiser. No, seriously, and they're blood splattered. But I have to roll them in a cardboard box because when I drop the D20, it goes thump, and it literally puts like a dent in the cardboard box. So I won't be using that with one of the dice towers. I'm afraid that the D20 would literally just drop right through.
Aliens, where they were like inspecting the different floors, and the acid went through.
Oh yeah, it's just dropped right through. I imagine it would not want to, because it's only 3 millimeters thick. I mean, you can use your acrylic dice with them and whatnot, but you got to be careful with heavier dice. You might have to use like sturdier wood for the heavier metal dice. Maple tree, I'll show you, grows for 10 years. Aha! Almost got you. 10 years elapse. Exactly.
That's like a Shel Silverstein book.
Right? Instead of the giving tree, it's the fuck you tree.
It's a tree branch in the shape of a middle finger.
Tree beard giving you the finger. Dr. Mass says, I made a couple of my own dice towers years ago out of 1/4-inch plywood with decoupage images. Nice looking, but not very portable. Yeah, see, that's the thing about this is that it's 2 pieces and, felt lined. So, yeah, very, very easily portable. As a matter of fact, we went to, Harbor Freight, and I got one of their little ammo boxes. This fit perfectly in there, wrapped in bubble wrap. So, just future reference for those of you out there looking to transport your dice towers.
Yeah.
My D4 injury, it's the D4 that I have. It's literally a caltrip. It is made out of metal, and it's like literally a caltrip. If you drop it on the floor and step on it, it's going to go into your foot. It will literally go into your foot. Yeah.
It's the bane of the Legos, like.
Oh yeah, but like times 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Feline says she's working on the decoupage idea. Yeah, she's got all kinds of ideas how to spruce these up and to customize them. You guys just wait. Make sure that you're following her on the Twix. That way you will see all the cool stuff that she starts posting. And Dr. Mass says I used felt on the inside. There's an idea. Write that down, Feline. We might have to try that. Yeah. But let's see. I've been. Have you ever? Speaking of like Victorian era type stuff, have you ever read Poison Elves?
That's the second time somebody asked me that. No.
Really?
Yeah. Like, dude, I gotta check it out now. Like, this is Kismet now. they're huge, like yeah.
Yep, they are doing these omnibus collections of the book. The reason why I ask is because a friend of mine just gave me a bunch of single issues, and I've been going through and rereading them. And hot damn, I love this book. It is easily my favorite black and white indie book ever created.
Wow.
It is like the essence of DIY indie comics. He did this book for 14 issues on his own Steam, and then relaunched it with Serious Entertainment, and went from magazine size down to regular comic size. And it's such a well done book, humor and artwork, and it was all Drew, except for the lettering and the editing, which Rob Horan did. I had Rob, when I opened that one, I had Rob come on for What's in the Box, and we talked about it. It's a great book, and if you're into that kind of Victorian era stuff, and obviously elves and stuff, then you should definitely check it out. You've heard of ElfQuest, yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Wendy Penny, yeah. The reason why the elves and poison elves have the ridiculously long ears is because of ElfQuest and Wendy Penny. So.
Nice. Yeah, I would probably attribute the same to some of my designs, because that was me back in the day. I grabbed the remember when they were called Warp Graphics?
Oh wow, I haven't heard that term in fucking forever.
Yeah, Wendy and Richard Penny. That's what Warp was. And it was their own self-funded stuff. And here in New Hampshire, there's a comic book store. Like, how they have the big ones like Newbury Comics for a wicked good time.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you're in New Hampshire? I went to college in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Plymouth State, baby.
Nice. I went to college in Dover, New Hampshire, at a small technical college, Macintosh Academy, or Macintosh Institute of Art and Design. I don't think it exists anymore, unfortunately, but I got my degree, learned a bunch of stuff, worked at a comic shop in Somersworth. I don't know if you are familiar with Paperback Bazaar. Got transformed into Jetpack Comics or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, that's like northeast of me. I'm currently I'm in Nashville right now, so.
Oh man, I haven't heard it called that in years. Holy crap. Yes, and Twix, no, Instagram. That was my faux pas. She prefers Instagram to Twix, and who could blame her? But yeah, all kinds of cool pictures there, so go check that out. And listen to the Wise Feline. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here, because this is what we do here on my channel. We talk comics. So speaking of comics, what got you into comics? Have you always been a comic reader, or is this something that you kind of picked up on later in life?
So I guess my origin story is kind of a little pathetic. I was a dumb dyslexic kid. Literacy and stuff like that was kind of a pipe dream. I think I was 12 years old, and one of my friends invited me to the Pelham Public Library to engage in the fantasy club. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get beaten up for this, aren't I? So I went to the fantasy club, and they were talking about Dungeons and Dragons. And they were like, yeah, it's about Dungeons and Dragons, blah, 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 blah. And the librarian for the children's room comes down. And I swear to God, it was like Garth on Wayne's World. Like, dude, this librarian was absolutely gorgeous. And we all had like a quiet crush on this woman. And she, she's like, oh, I was getting ready to leave. I'm like, oh my God, this is full of dorks. I'm gonna, I don't want to be seen with this. And my buddy's like, no, dude, it's cool. Hey. Oh God, people that get stuffed in lockers. And she came down and she's like, oh, you're going to stay? I'm like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm totally staying. I'm sitting down.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't planning on leaving. I was going to stay the whole time. Yeah, totally.
And, we ended up engaging in the Dungeons and Dragons games for like months and months and months. And then around Christmas time, she got me a gift. And it was a book. It was like the size of a VHS tape. And I'm like, oh,
nice.
I unwrap it. And again, I'm not really, like, literacy and I were not on speaking terms. So
right.
I was like, oh, what's this? And she's like, unwrap it. And it was Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. And
oh, nice. Okay.
for a kid that never really read, that was a beefy boy. You know, it was like 300 some odd. You know, I'm like,
sure.
Oh, so she's like, you know, don't worry about it. Like, just take your time reading it. You know, just I think you'll really enjoy it. You like fantasy. You really seem to be having a ball with, you know, Dungeons and Dragons here and stuff. So just give it a shot. So every few months or whatever, she'd start asking me. She's like, so what'd you think of the story so far? How far did you get? What do you think of Raceland? What do you think of Tasselhoff? You know, like just asking me questions about it.
Yeah.
And eventually I ended up getting through the entire book. And I was like, yeah, that was an amazing book.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And she's like, oh, well, guess what? You know, Merry Christmas. Hands me a Dragons of Winter Night. And she's like, oh, by the way, there's 4 other books after this. So, so I read the whole series, you know, all the way through the Chronicles and then into the Legends. And I was hyped up. I was like, I need more. So one day.
Awesome.
We were going into a comic store, and you know, like Batman, the Super Friends and all that stuff. I know I'm aging myself here, but like that was always there. Like we always had Batman. We always had that stuff. But like I go into a comic store, and again, not being a big fan of literacy at that time, I was like, yeah, whatever, you know. But dude, like I walked in, and there was this off like smaller mom and pop comic shop.
Yes.
In Salem, New Hampshire, right on the Methuen border.
Yep.
And this comic shop had weird shit, dude. It wasn't just like, here's the Marvel, here's the DC.
Yes.
So that was when you know, like when I was in French class, you know, we learned, like we had all the books available to us from like Asterisk and Obelix, Tintin, Le Schtroumpf, you know, like kind of something that we were kind of familiar with. But when I walked into this place, it was like a Hitchcock camera moment. I saw tits, and I was enamored. Like it was fast.
Shocking.
Yeah, was it MEATHEAD? You know, like it was
MEATHEAD. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just, I was Fry from Futurama. Just, shut up and take my money. So, I don't know how I didn't get carded or anything, because a lot of this was verboten. I picked up ElfQuest, the first.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't even in like volumes yet. It was just like those floppy issues. And it was from Warp Graphics. So I grabbed a bunch of those, and there was movies in that. So I was ecstatic. And then we went over to this guy called Peter Shue, who did Elf Warrior. Same thing, like airbrushed, like Grail inside. Then all of these like European, like I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't I never went in like the capes and tights route. I went in through, like the European, like, the adventure stuff. And
I mean, some might argue that's a better way to get into it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I started reading Elric of Melnimede in graphic form, and then I ended up getting more comic books later. And I'm like, okay, I know what they look like.
Yeah, he's roboting again. It's what's up, Bancroft? Good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming to hang out. We'll give your internet a minute to calm down here. We've also got Ogden. What's up, Odin? Good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming to hang out. We've also got Good Stuff. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Welcome. Let's see. Who else we got in here? Yeah, that's it. I noticed Good Stuff showed up when I said meat. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Sometimes we talk about meat. Yes, we do. Or food in general. Let's see. Where was I? Scrolling down. Okay. You seem to be sounding better now. So yeah, you got into the good stuff, man. The good indie stuff. Like, that was back in the day when it was, really like boots on the ground, black and white indie stuff. Like they didn't have crowdfunding. They didn't have the internet to talk. Like they literally had to, like, put foot to pavement and, call people and hopefully get a shop to pick up the book that they were putting out.
Yeah, like I'm kicking myself. Like I wish I could go back in time and just be like, buy that, collect that, put that in a bag. Like, because like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is from New Hampshire. I did not know that, and all the books were there.
So, true story. When I lived in New Hampshire, like Dover, New Hampshire, that's where the Ninja Turtles were created. When I lived in New Hampshire, my then wife at the time, we looked at the Ninja Turtles house. I didn't realize it at the time, and I was like, it's really fucking expensive to rent. What the fuck? Yeah. And then, like, years later, when I saw an article that says, "Oh, world famous Ninja Turtles house has been torn down," that whole line from a song, "Pave paradise and put up a parking lot." Yeah, well, that's what they did. They fucking put a parking lot where that house was. But I looked at the picture that they posted, and I was like, "Holy shit! I almost rented the Ninja Turtle house. What the fuck?" Yep.
Yeah. Well, because it was the area. After putting their super indie books out in these mom and pop shops, and I remember seeing a Ninja Turtles book, and there was like role playing stuff for it, and little lead figures and stuff for it.
Yeah.
And I wish I bought it.
Right? I mean, those first printings of that RPG book and like the little figures that they made, man, those would be worth bank. Yeah. I have a 5th printing of number 1. That's the oldest Ninja Turtle comic that I have, and I love it. I love it. Would I have paid more had I have known? I mean, maybe. I might have been like, oh, I understand why it's so expensive. I mean, it was in a pretty centrally located part of town. It was a nice like 2-story apartment. But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe. I mean, my inner Ninja Turtle geek probably would have said yes. What's up, K-pop? Good to see you. Welcome. But so that's where how you got into comics. So where did the story of Infinitale come from? I mean, I'm guessing it kind of spawned out of your love for fantasy that was spawned from the hot librarian.
Yeah, so long before the days of Google, the only options we had to kind of educate ourselves essentially wasn't school. It was the library, and I had full reign of it. I was one of the middle, like as far as the age groups went, I was like plop right in the center. There were kids older than me, there were kids younger than me, but I was the quiet, responsible one. So I got full reign. I got the keys. I got to look at the old books that you're not supposed to touch.
Heck yeah, libraries are fucking awesome, man. Love libraries and bookstores.
Yeah, well, by the time I got into high school, our high school, screw you, Pelham High. They treated us like prisoners. We had to have 40 hours of community service, or they wouldn't let us graduate.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah,
seems a bit steep.
Well, that works fine when you're like 13 or 14 and you're a freshman,
right?
But when you're like 16 and you got a job and you're trying to put fuel in your car and all this stuff, like, what am I supposed to do? Work pro bono?
Well, I mean, that's essentially what community service is.
Yeah. When they say it's volunteer, I don't think they understood. What was that quote we just said?
Wait,
hang that word.
Yeah, hang on.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Volunteer. Right.
Yeah. So the librarian caught wind of this, and she's like, "Oh, hey, I noticed that because all of the Dungeons and Dragons, all the Dungeons and Dragons books are kind of always checked out, or like we're missing this, or hey, they just updated from 2.5 to 3, and we can't keep up with it." Like, I started making my own stuff. Like, I was like, well, I'll just make my own tabletop role playing game.
Right.
I bit off way more than I could chew because, again, I was a dumb kid. So it was like the world's only as big as as big as your dungeon master, and if your dungeon master's dumb, your world's going to get real small real quick. So I had to read up.
Can your dungeon master learn though? That's the thing.
Oh boy, did I ever!
Voluntold, exactly, Odin.
Yeah, there we go. Uh-oh.
Volunteer today, special school, eye-opening. I bet, sir.
Yeah.
They volunteered you for slavery. Yeah, essentially. Essentially.
So I was making my own game, and the hot librarian saw this. And she's like, you know what? I will give you whatever community service hours you want, as long as you keep these kids out of trouble and stop them from climbing up the shelves and everything. So you can use them as guinea pigs all you want to beta test your little role-playing games.
Yeah.
Just keep them quiet.
Keep them out of my hair and keep the shelves from being knocked over. We're good.
Yep. Yeah. And I did that for the
4
years I was in high school. and there were kids older than me, younger than me, my age, whatever. And I'll tell you, man, nothing prepares you for art criticism, or in my case, video game development, like the honesty of a 10-year-old kid that gives zero. Like, yeah, he doesn't care how what your feet.
They don't give
like.
a fuck.
Yeah. So I plumbed the depths of the library, and I thought, well, I'm going to make my game. I don't want to rip off Dungeons and Dragons and just be a copy of a copy.
Right.
Same thing with Tolkien. Like I ended up reading The Lord of the Rings. I read the Silmarillion, and again, that was a big feat for a dumb kid.
And the Silmarillion is dry.
Yes, it's a British.
Holy cow!
So I read through all of that, and I was like, I don't want to rip off Tolkien. Like, what were his inspirations? So I went to the source. And I remember that
What's up, Billy?
Hey, that forbidden part of the library there with the books you weren't supposed to touch. Well,
Right.
I had the key, and I read them all, and I read everything from the Kalevala, which was the Finnish folklore books. These things were old. Like,
Fuck yeah!
Finnish immigrants that came to New England.
Wow.
I read the Volsung saga by Snorri Sturluson, which was like coming into Iceland.
I played a character named Volsung in a campaign.
Yeah. Did he have the sword and split the dragon's belly open and hide in the river?
No, I did have a sword, but I wanted an axe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swords are for pretty boys. So that the Mabinogia, which is the Welsh mythology, I researched like the Tuatha De Danann, which is the Irish myths, all that stuff.
Nice.
History. Like the stuff that I researched, other than just the folklore for story ideas, was also like really weird shit that like herbalism or Jewish hermeticism, like the Kabbalah, like all this weird stuff.
Wow.
And I was like, let's yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, you went from not having like anything to do with literacy to just like this mad, passionate love affair with reading. It's fucking fantastic, man. And apparently it's all thanks to this hot librarian. Bancroft wants to know, did the hot librarian ever take her glasses off and her hair out and flick it around?
Yeah, she never wore glasses, dude. She was
just hot all the time. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we had another hot librarian who ended up playing the game. She's one of the characters that was in it.
Oh, cool. All right.
So, all the guys flirted with her the whole time, dude. It was hilarious.
Shocking. Like, raise your hand if you're shocked. No, not you. No, nobody. Okay. Yeah.
Guys, she's married. That doesn't mean anything.
I don't care. Not in my head. She's not.
Well, I thought it was cool that when we hit the recession and we couldn't keep the doors open at the library, we ended up going to the bingo hall across the street, and it was like kind of run by the rectory, the Catholic Church area. And this was around.
Odin is disagreeing with me hardly here.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. Well. So we went to the bingo hall, which was run by the rectory. This was at the height of the Satanic Panic.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And there's this Jewish kid that's like,
take it easy, Odin. Good to see you, brother.
Have a good one, man. So, we were running the game. One of the priests, Father Ed, ended up just saying, "Hey, look, you can use the bingo hall whenever you want. Here's the keys. Don't make a mess. Just move the chairs when you're done. Make sure the place is clean." And
right.
I'm like, are you going to be okay with this? Like, I've been kicked out of houses for having the Devil's Board game here. Let's go. And he's like, he just sat in for like maybe 10 minutes one day. He's like sitting there, goes over to the vending machine, grabs a Coke, sits down, starts drinking, watching us. And he's like, gets up and leaves. He's like, yeah, I've seen enough. You guys are good. Like, just turn off the lights and clean up when you're done. So.
Well, that's awesome. He actually had a brain in his head and, used his powers of observation to see that you guys were not worshiping the devil or doing anything untoward. He's just playing a game. And I mean, Tolkien had elves and dwarves and dragons and magic and all that stuff. So no reason why your tabletop RPG can't have it. So
yeah. And it was
awesome.
Weird. It was weird seeing an adult, attractive woman come into this bingo hall on her day off because she's not getting paid now. She,
Right.
playing with people, 5, 10, 15 years younger than her. And I was like,
she was invested in making sure you guys, one, had fun with the campaign, and two, maybe she just really wanted to play the game.
Yeah.
Wanted to see what all that time invested in you was. See if it paid off. Wanted to see. I mean, because you'd spent all that time in the library, you spent all that time, basically researching, just reading a bunch of stuff that interested you, and see where it went. I mean, that's seeing a return on the investment of time, man. It's great.
Yeah, it's like the seeds have been planted.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what got me into kind of the whole Infinitale stuff. Was I was making my own tabletop game.
Wow.
I got all this encouragement and stuff, and hence the Infinitale. It's the portmanteau infinite and tale put it together. But like EverQuest or the Neverending Story or whatever. And we're calling it Chronicles because part of how we were able to get back from the bingo hall to the library again was figured out a way. Oh, I think I just roboted again. Sorry.
A little bit. Yeah.
So I think how we got back from the bingo hall into the library was I used to draw before my hands got all messed up, but I used to fancy myself a bit of an artist, and we would chronicle the play sessions and then collect dues. Like I think it was like $5 a month or something. And
cool.
You would get a newsletter every month or whatever with illustrations, and it would chronicle out that previous game session.
That's rad.
And I have like a bunch of shipping containers filled with all of these chronicles. There's like thousands of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because there were multiple pages, the whole shebang.
Right.
And I ended up, after I got out of high school, I did it a little again when I was in university. And then I was like, I'm in the working world. I just can't do this. I ended up moving out to California, then out to Australia, then out to Japan. And I'm like, I don't have time to do this and be a video game developer. So it sat there for decades. And then after I ended up leaving the industry and I came back to New England here in New Hampshire, and I leveraged my skills to get into a different career. I went from video game development into cybersecurity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, quite a stark difference.
I mean, from one shit show to another.
Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, welcome to the party, pal. Yeah, exactly.
So, I felt like kind of creatively constipated. Like I felt like
I bet.
Like I'm no longer like designing scenarios or doing anything artistic or anything.
Right.
I wanted to resurrect the tabletop game. And I was talking with one of my buddies, and we're like, "Oh, we could do the Kickstarter, or whatever." And he looks over at Kickstarter and he sees all these like campaigns. He's like, "Dude, it's gonna be real stiff. Like the competition, these things are gonna kick your ass. Like we got to do something to differentiate it." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was an engineer at Blizzard at the time, and we were somehow talking about World of Warcraft, and he was like, "Well, why do you think people were like champing at the bit to get into World of Warcraft before the game was even like, readily playable?" And I think the reasoning was that World of Warcraft was the world that everybody already knew about because they've already had books and games and all this stuff before it. So now it's their chance to jump in after getting all of this additional information.
Right.
I was like, oh, I could make like Flash animations. Like I went down to Boston there. Remember the Project Greenlight there? They had like I went through that, and they basically told me, they're like, no publisher would ever, like, they would look at your stuff and be like, dude, your budgets would be so insane, I wouldn't touch this, So, finally, one of them, I think it was Matt Damon, actually, was like, well, why don't you just do it animated? Why don't you just do the animation stuff? So, that's what I started with the Flash stuff. I wrote all the screenplays out. I have like 10 books worth of this stuff. Like,
holy cow.
Yeah. So it was like that was the War of the Trees. It was like one honking huge like epic saga, kind of like how the original Lord of the Rings was written. It wasn't originally 3 books, it was just one big one. And one big chunker of a book. A weapon, a tome, if you will. So we I was discussing that, and I was like, I don't think I have the resources or the wherewithal to make a competent animation out of all this. What else could I do? And it was like, well, dude, you're artsy. Why don't you do like a comic book? And I'm like, I don't know the first thing about it. I know reading it. I know I like them, but like, I don't know how to make them. So I reached out to a guy in California, this guy Zen over at High Concept Media Properties, and he looked over at my screen play and he's like, yeah, we're going to have to translate all of this into something that comic artists can use because no comic artist like want to touch this. So I spent a few years getting everything all comic scriptified and edited and looked at and you
roboted. Wow. The internet was like, haha, you're getting to an important part of your story. No.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that died out. It's weird. I don't know what's doing this. I wonder if it's StreamYards.
It could be. It could also be having your camera on sometimes will do that. Like I don't know the animated thing that you got going on. It could be taking up too much bandwidth for your internet to handle. Joke's on you. Chris is a robot, says Aaron.
The goy humans, no, shut them down.
Kill all humans except for Fry. Yeah, I love Futurama. One of my favorite shows of all time, man. Yeah, you started roboting at the point where you just after you were saying you were getting the story all comic scriptified.
Yep. So we got it scriptified and it took a little like probably multiple years actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is around 2014,
right?
And by 2021 we launched the first book and it was 54 pages. And
nice.
You know that's our benchmark. We're gonna make 54-page books or bigger. You know, but like the idea is, I didn't want to like because it's procedural rather than episodic. You know, because again, it's a huge fucking 10-book thing. And I'm just playing games to choppy, where it's like, okay, we got 54 pages here, we can do this. And then when we got to book 2, I sent it out to my proofreaders, and I got my buddy Oscar, who F you, Oscar. He does not shy about his opinions, and that's why I love him as a proofreader.
That's what you need, man.
Yeah. I gave him the 60 pages of the original treatment of book 2, and he's like, dude, this pacing sucks. Like, it doesn't have a satisfying ending point. Like, nothing really happens.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I look over at the pool of other story that I have to, like, reconcile this and say, okay, let's pull in pieces of this, move this around, move that. And at the end of it, it turned from 60 pages into 120 pages.
Woo!
So book 2 is 120 pages.
It went from a little chunky to big chunky.
It's not the length, it's the girth.
Right? This is apparently a girthy boy. And that's what we're currently on. War of the Trees number 2.
Yep.
All right, and that's what we are here to talk about. That's an amazing story. As far as like the birth of this, and I went to school online for video game design. I've always wanted to make comic books. I've always wanted to draw. I thought, yeah, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll do concept artwork for video games, or I'll work in video games. And I would much rather work in comics, knowing what I know now about the video game industry, or just do it indie. Like 100% indie. I mean, Trent Kanuga just put out Twilight Monk. He's got, he spent years and years in the mines, working for Blizzard and all those other companies. But now he's doing it on his own and side-scrolling Metroidvania, man. I'm all about it. But DIY is the way to go, and especially when it comes to this, we've got the tools to fucking do this shit for real, man. You don't need a publisher, and it's amazing. I think we are on the verge, on the cusp, if you will, of an indie media renaissance. Comic books, obviously. I mean, look at the indie scene. The indie scene is much more alive and healthy than the mainstream scene, in my opinion. Video games just need passion. Exactly, Billy. Exactly. The passion and the skill. And they're just look at the small sphere that we've got over in this indie scene. There are so many fucking talented people over here that can do a plethora of different things. You just got to find the right people for the job. And, you'll find people that are passionate about it. Big corporate games just don't have the charm of the early games industry. That's because they've taken all the soul out of it. You used to have people that were interested in making games. Now you got people that are, beholden to board members that are just interested in making fucking money.
Yeah, dude. 10 years ago, I got kind of chased out of the industry. It's not that.
That's right. That's right, Dr. Mask. It's Miller time.
Yeah, we got the tools, we got the talent. But
that's right.
Yeah, 10 years ago, like more than 10 years ago, like I worked on a TV show / video game called Defiance.
Oh yeah.
And there was so much disarray. Like, the NT Universal team, like the TV people, like spot on, dude. Those guys knew what they were doing. Everybody was like asking the right questions. And when I came on board, like they didn't even have like a design wiki, like the game side. I'm like, well, where's your notes? Like where is like this documentation? Like where's
right.
how do I make this and kind of thing? Like what happens if the keeper of the lore dies? Like, so,
right. I mean, that's the thing about video games. You got to have a bunch of if-then statements so you can account for all the player agency that they need to have.
Yeah, well, even just getting your story straight. It's like when you're telling a story, it's almost like you're getting arrested, and you all have to have your facts straight. You know what I mean? Like,
right. You got to have your story straight, otherwise you're all fucked.
Yeah, and that's that. It sucks when you've got these people that are a higher pay grade than you, who don't understand like it's like, how the hell did you get here, dude? Like, and it just it was all sorts of office politics.
Nepotism.
Yeah, cronyism, nepotism, and it just it became a very hostile environment, and I could see it where it was like, dude, like I had this one coworker, he had been in the industry for years and years and years. One of the nicest guy. He wouldn't say a shit if he had a mouthful of it, and he taught me how to use the tools. I'm like, I don't know, tools better than the people above your pay grade, like
right.
So.
I think you made the right choice, man. And you're doing something that you love. You're telling this story, and again, I find it cool that you're taking a story that you made forever ago, and you're turning it into something now. It's something new, something fresh, something to share with the world. The book that I just finished doing the interiors on, Mercenary Guild, is actually taken from the writer's RPG campaign from back in the day as well. So I'm all about this kind of thing, man. I love it. I love I love tabletop RPGs. They're a lot of fun, and being able to take those stories and translate them into a comic book, it's no small feat. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to put it into a format, because writing comics is, it's like haiku. You've only got a certain amount of space to tell this story, and you got to do it with aplomb and accuracy. Otherwise, it's going to feel disjointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Smaller teams had more input in the game process. I read about early LucasArts with Secret of Monkey Isle. Yep, the whole team kept giving ideas that were put in.
Yeah.
Yep. What's up, Will? Creators Outlet says everyone is a higher pay grade than to me. It happens. Just keep working. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corporate and creativity don't mix. Eventually, the creator figures out they are getting screwed.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, look at everything that Rob Liefeld said about the comics industry, and Jimmy Palmiotti actually just posted a great thread about how the mainstream industry doesn't really give a fuck about the creators that created all these things that make them money. So
that brings up a good point. One of the small anecdotal story or whatever I had when I was working on Defiance was I was part of the design team. We were doing content design, like designing encounters and missions and stuff, and it was a shooter. And I created these things called battle cards, and it was for internal use only. So it was it had the concept art of the enemy on the front, and then you flip it over like a baseball card. It had their stats, their
nice.
range,
Yeah.
The idea was to get these printed out, proliferate them out to the designers, so that when they're designing content, they can just kind of do like a quick cheat sheet for all the enemies. And the art director comes over to me. It's like, you're gonna have to like remove the signature or the name of the artist. We don't do that. We don't credit the artist on our work. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm glad I don't work in the art department. And I have a very strong policy of I get credit. I'm sorry, but if that imperils my product, then the product ain't worth it. Artists need their due. Like their names are plastered all over this.
I heard give artists their due. Yes, I agree. The roboting kind of ate up the rest of that statement, but I agree with the sentiment. Yes, giving artists their due, because too often they're just shunted to the side. You know, doing the artwork for a book is a lot of the heavy lifting. Yes, there's story, there's editing, there's all that stuff, but I mean, in order to make a book look good and actually cohesively go from one panel to the next, that is the heavy lifting of a comic book. And anybody that has worked on a comic book will agree. Yeah. You know, without the artist, you don't have a comic book. It's it's a amalgamation of artwork and story.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Infinitale Chronicles Book 2, the War of Trees Book 2. Mm-hmm. So tell me where holy crap, is this is all stuff that is going into the campaign?
Yep. Those are all the different stuff you can get.
This is dude. This actually looks like a starter set for a tabletop RPG. Now, I'm guessing that's intentional.
Yeah, it's my little showcase of all the you know. I like
oh, come on, internet! Let him at least get one full statement out.
Oh,
damn!
Should I pop out and pop back in? Maybe it's
maybe turn your camera off. Just in StreamYards, turn your camera off and see if that helps.
All right, let's see. All right, I will try turning off camera.
Yeah, just stop cam. There we go. And we'll see if that helps with the audio.
All right.
But you've got all kinds of different editions here. I was scrolling through and I noticed that you've got a manga edition. Excuse me. So 180 black and white pages. Wow.
Yep. It's a trade paperback of books 1 and 2.
That's awesome, man. And is it set up just like a manga, read right to left instead of left to right?
Yep. All the dialogue's in English. Man. All of the sound effects are in Japanese.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Given the way the market is going and how interested in manga a lot of the younger generation is, I think this is a good idea. You know, I don't know if you picked up Exile from Adam Lawson and Esquivo and Wesley Snipes, but that came with a manga edition, as a matter of fact. Right here.
Oh,
and it's fucking cool, man. You know, when I was working in the comic shop, I would pick up a few manga here and there. I hadn't picked up manga in 20 some odd years, back when Dark Horse was still publishing like Battle Angel Alita. I think that was like the last thing I picked up way back in the day. And I kind of I stopped paying attention to anime, manga, and all that stuff. And now it's exploded. It's everywhere. So I think it's a good idea, man. You know, getting the story out there to everybody, you know, giving everybody an opportunity to read it and like in a format they enjoy, you know, and that's clearly what you're doing right here, because you know, you got the manga edition, you got the regular comic edition, and then it looks like a wide edition.
So it's actually an experiment. After the first book was fulfilled, I sent out a survey. Mm-hmm. And I took all the feedback that I got from the survey, and some of it was about like the art.
King Camel.
Hey, not matching like the promotional material and so on. Like I basically took all that the feedback, and again, being a UX designer in cybersecurity, I thrive off of negative feedback. So I took all the feedback, and I was like, well, okay, if it's about the art, I'll have a meeting with the original art team, and we'll discuss, you know, how we can better make this match kind of the source images, basically, so that there isn't any continuity issues. And on top of that, a second art team joined the fray and said, hey, if you're having trouble with the first art team, Eduardo and Mika, what is it, Barbosa? Or actually, it's Barbusco Studio, so it's their like fusion of their two last names. Made the alternate art edition, so it's the same exact story as the standard edition. It's just done with a different art team.
Oh wow! Yeah. So two different versions, like literally two different versions of the book.
Yep.
That's incredible. Okay.
Yeah. One is the standard Western style comic style. The other one is kind of more painterly, like a Bendis Desailly. It's not a kind of a storybook approach. And then obviously the manga edition is black and white. It leverages the same line art or the inking of Antonio Brandao from the original book, so the standard edition. But I did all the the zipatone shading and all that stuff and reorganization.
Man, that's a hell of a lot. That's a hell of an undertaking. That's a lot of work. You know, you don't just take the color version and turn it black and white and hey, it's done. Yeah. You know, so, wow, that's impressive, man. What's up, Apex? Welcome. Good to see you. Creators Outlet says, "Shh, don't tell Mo Biggs there's a manga version." We won't. We'll just keep it on the down low. Don't let Mo know. We get 3 versions. No, 3 versions. Pull the wax out of your ear as well. Wow, this campaign looks amazing. And so cards.
Yes.
Now, is there a game aspect to the cards, or is this just like trading cards?
So these are just like trading cards. This is a early bird free card that anybody that backs a physical perk in the next 7 days, between 7 days and the launch, they got that nice window in there. They'll get this free 5x7 holofoil card. The image was drawn by Pau Rodrigues of Genuine Comics.
Works with Dave Brink. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, he does great work.
Yeah, he does. And so this was a tier on I think it was Perfect 10 number 4.
Yeah.
And I just saw a little flip there. Where he basically he sent me the line art, and then I colored it, and then I used a background from the Series 1 trading cards and put it at like a Dutch angle. So
right on, man. Hey, it's never throw anything away, and it trying to get these things out with any kind of speed and consistency. You gotta use whatever techniques you can. I mean, and the image looks great. This line work is great, and the background fits. Nice job on the colors, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Coloring comics is not easy. I know that on Topic List we like to dog on colors, especially when Ink Spots is in the chat. But coloring is not easy, especially making it look good with coloring. I mean, any fool can just slap color on there, but making it actually look good, that requires some effort and some skill. Yeah. So there are the 3 versions of the book. Just clarifying there.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, you guys really need to go hit this link that Feline dropped in the chat for you guys, and go check out this campaign. This is an amazing looking campaign, man.
So if you scroll up those little boilerplates there for the books, people are asking, where the hell's the interior art? Like, I'm not going to buy a book blind. Like, show me the interior art.
Scroll up here.
No, you can scroll down to the books. So yeah, right there, right up. There we go. So these right here are, if you see the button, it says click for a free sample or free preview.
Oh, yeah, nice. Okay.
So you're not going to get, you're going to get 15-page free previews if you click those buttons, and you can download the PDF.
Wow. It didn't come with me. Oh man. Listen, y'all, go hit that link and go check this out. This is beautiful, man. This is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I love the page flip. I'm really liking the ability for previews. You know what? I'm gonna switch to this tab real quick here. Look at this. So you can literally digitally flip through the book and see what you will be backing. So go ahead and check this out. I mean, look at this is a beautiful looking book.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's the alternate art edition. The standard edition is the same exact book. In fact, you can see these exact same pages, but you'll get a different art interpretation of it.
That's awesome. All right, so back to this. So you can get a preview of the standard edition, the alternate edition, and the manga edition.
Yep.
So you don't have to fly in blind. Hey, backer number 51 says Dr. Mass. Hey, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I really hope you like it.
It's a beautiful looking book, man.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see. And collector's bundles. 2-book bundle, both books, 2 editions, collector's slipcase. Ooh. So you get the standard and the alternate edition in a convenient slipcase.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. That's really cool, man.
Well, thanks.
And I like all the thought that I'm seeing that has been put into this. I mean, obviously, the story's been kicking around in your head for 30 plus years now. So I mean, you've had a lot of time to think about the story, but the thought that's put into the campaign and the presentation. Sometimes, as creatives, we get caught up in the the story and the creation of it, which is good, but as indie creators, we also have to focus on the presentation of the story, the way it looks, the production values on it. You can have the best story in the world, but and the best art in the world, but if it's printed like shit and it doesn't, it's disjointed, the registration's off, all that stuff, then nobody's going to take it seriously. But this, man, this is beautiful. I mean, this is better looking than a lot of the stuff that I've seen show up in comic shops. I'm just saying. I should know. I worked in my LCS for 7 years from
wow.
from 2015 up until 2022. I worked in my LCS, my childhood LCS, mind you.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of watched the industry trip, faceplant, and then crumple in on itself. So that's part of the reason why I love doing this show, is talking to new creators and being introduced to new books and helping, other people find cool stuff to read, because being at the comic shop, that was my job. Help people find cool shit to read. And it got increasingly harder to recommend things in the comic shop. And I wanted to be like, there's all this great stuff online. It's crowdfunding, but I can't say that because I'm working in a comic shop and we've got to try to sell the stuff that's on the wall that we just paid for. So, so I love, like I said, the thought that I see put into this campaign, the way it's put together, and all the extra stuff like the merch, the figures, as a matter of fact, tell me about these figures, man. These are awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so that's a water leaper, which it's based on Welsh mythology. It's kind of like a winged frog with a scorpion stinging tail and teeth.
That sounds awful, and I will swat first and ask questions later.
Yeah, these are nasty buggers, especially that poison. So I have an FDM printer, and I printed out these for the convention. And nice. The leftover ones I'm putting up on here on the campaign. And the glow in the dark, like the nylon filament that I use, that really glows. I don't know if you can really see it in that picture, but like my fingers are being illuminated.
Yeah, I can see that. That's actually impressive. The fact that you got that clear of a picture of the glow in the dark stuff, that is actually impressive.
Sweet.
And then this is the main character. What is the main character's name?
So this is Nessa.
Nessa. Okay.
Nessa is one of the she's one of the heroes. Mm-hmm. She's what the Aelvar people, or the elves of this world, call Cernudi, or the hard ones, the fawns.
Oh, okay.
And, she's got kind of a tragic origin that gets discussed in the second book. This I think it's about 8 inches. I printed this sucker out. It's pre-primed. It comes with all of the painting materials you need. The sealer, even a little paint guide. It's like a little paint kit.
Holy
you have
cow.
fun painting it.
So they don't even have to go out and source their own paints. You send them this whole thing as a kit that they get, and a guide to make sure that it turns out exactly like the picture. If you want that, you can use your own colors. Obviously, it's up to you to decide. But wow, that's again taking the thought that's been taken into account, and considering the audience, considering the fans. That's great, man.
Sweet. Yeah. I mean, like you said, the painting guide there is just a suggestion. You can paint whatever you want.
Right. Now, did you do the 3D modeling on this as well?
No, I have a former buddy former game dev buddy that helped me with that.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's great. Hey man, that's the indie way, right? You got this buddy that actually knows what the fuck he's doing. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, if your friends actually know what they're doing, sure, hire them. You know, have them do the thing if they can do the work professionally.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I originally like hired him out to do the play pieces for the role playing game, and then I was like, you know what, I think I could put these as perks on the actual comic book campaign, and that's why they're here. And I was like, do you want me to credit you? Do you want me to put your name on it? Because like we were saying earlier, like I'm all about credit. Oh, because I don't want people owning me.
I mean, people like these kind of things. This is from the Exiled campaign, and this thing is dope. But the merch, people like sporting merch, T-shirts, figurines, wall plaques, posters. You know, when people really get into something and they become a fan of it, they want to be able to sport that merch. They want to be able to show off their fandom, and this is a great way. You know, I mean, obviously, I don't like showing off all the stuff that I love at all. You know, it's just not at all. And a map. You know, it seems like you almost have to have a land map of your fantasy land in order to, I don't know, kind of complete the experience. You know, it helps to have a visual representation of the land that you're exploring, that you're going on the adventure with. Oh yeah, this is in the world of Asperia. This is the known world, the continent of Foithla, and it's broken out into like a spoke, 7 sovereignties. And it's a matriarchal civilization where the sovereignties are ruled by queens. So every one of those, like Tiri Gothen there, that's where our story starts, in the capital of Hafenheide, or Flockhaven. Wow. It's a really well done map, too. I like it.
Oh, thanks. Sweet.
And then collectible cards.
Oh, yeah.
So Series 2, which means there was a Series 1. Now, is Series 1 completely done? Are there any of those available, like as an add-on for the campaign?
Yep, yeah. There's a legacy add-on section at the bottom of the page here, and it shows all different add-ons. The stuff that kind of was held over from the first campaign.
There's possibly more in this pack. Look at that.
You might get one of those lucky holofoil cards.
Well, see, this speaks to me personally because I still have all of my cards that I collected back in the day. My dad and I used to go to the comic shop, and we would buy like a box of the cards, like the Spider-Man, the X-Men, and whatnot. Yeah. And we'd buy the whole box, and then we would open them all up together, and we would see if we could get the entire set. You know, and that's what I spent my allowance on. And it was a fun thing for me and my dad to do, and I still have all of the cards that we got together. Nice. You know, and we would usually end up with the whole set, and doubles, of course, and most of the chase cards. Only a few sets that I get all of the chase cards, and they call them chase cards for a reason, because you're literally chasing them down. But it was fun, man. You know, so I love seeing cards on campaigns. I love seeing everybody's take on the trading card. With their characters. Because a lot of us grew up with the trading cards, and I like seeing it. I think it adds to a campaign. I really do. Some people would argue that it's unnecessary and whatnot, but I disagree. I think it adds to the whole feel of the campaign.
Sweet.
Jumbo holofoil card.
Yeah, so that was
Miriam, nice.
Yeah, so that was okay. So funny story about that. She was my first fan art. One day I get a DM from Miriam, and she's like, "Hey, keep your eyes out on mail. I sent you something." I'm like, oh boy,
nice.
And I ended up. She sent me a black and white image of Aisling here like this. And it's now hanging up on my wall, my shrine of indie comic art.
Yes.
And, I scanned it in, colored it, and then made a holofoil card out of it. And it was given away as part of my Twitter social media campaign when I got 1,000 followers.
Awesome.
A couple of people got a free card. And then I thought, I got some left over. I might as well, put them up for sale if anybody wants them. I want to be a completionist.
Right. And let's be honest. We're all a bunch of comic nerds. We're all collectors to a certain degree or another. So there are those among us that are absolutely completionists. They want to have everything. They're the same folks that buy, one of every variant cover. So again, catering to the market, knowing your audience. It's a good thing, man.
Sweet.
And then we got acrylic standees. Is that what this is?
So those are sprite art magnets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were acrylic magnets with I put rare earth magnets on the back of them.
Oh,
and
cool.
I thought I had telekinesis when I was putting these things together because stuff was moving from like 6 feet away. You will not have anything like these magnets will not drop anything. You could probably put your tax returns and peg it to your file cabinet or your fridge on this thing. But
awesome.
Yeah. So there also are six heroes, and then obviously the seventh magnet is the logo. But back in the day when I was building my game, I was a big fan of like the Genesis and the Super NES. And there were games like Shining Force, stuff like that, and that's where I was like, "Hey, let's see what they would look like in that 16-bit style."
Love it, and I know that you've been paying attention to the industry, but that styling is coming back. Like people love, I mean, retro consoles. I mean, you yourself have an arcade machine, but retro style games like that pixel art. I don't know if you saw that game Death's Gambit from a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
but that is a side-scrolling Metrovania in that like pixel art kind of Symphony of the Night type of style. I mean, it's a great way to tell a story, especially with a video game. And seeing the characters in that's really cool, man. And again, it's playing to the audience. You understand your audience.
Thanks. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, you funded within the first hour of the campaign being live, so clearly you're doing something right. I'm just saying.
Well, what was it? I got the hashtag Mad Lab from Bancroft.
Fuck yeah. Hey, speaking of people that know what they're doing, I mean, you've seen the stuff that he's putting out. He's kicking out the jams, man. Love the Lucent. That's a fantastic book. He's one to emulate, just the way he's built his audience, the way he's built his book, the way he's built his business, man. It's admirable. And to get a compliment like that from him, that's again, you must be doing something right, bro. Just saying.
It's either was it insanity or genius.
Hey man, there's a fine line between the two, so just keep rolling with it as long as it works for you.
Yeah. So yeah, these are legacy perks from the first campaign.
Nice. Okay, that was my next question. Was stuff from the first campaign. So you could literally catch up on everything with this campaign if you really wanted to go all in.
Oh yeah.
So what is this ultimate bundle? Holy cow, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, I couldn't fit it all on there actually.
I fucking bet. Holy crap! Because I mean, we're barely getting. Hey, there's an image. That's a beautiful image. Everybody likes a hot elf chick.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Looking at the campaign, there's so much stuff on here. Like there is a wealth of content here. So you guys, I mean, if you're into fantasy and original fantasy, not just Tolkien knockoffs, this is the campaign for you. Wow, LOL. Right?
Yeah.
And this is another jumbo holofoil card. Now, is this one from the first campaign?
Yeah, so that was a free stretch goal on the first campaign. That everybody got that backed like finite perks, like any of the bundles or anything.
Right.
And I had some left over, and I thought, well, heck, if somebody's second campaign, if they missed out on it, they can put it on sale. So.
Wow. And there's an acrylic standee. So I mean, all kinds of merch, all kinds of cards. I mean, this is impressive, man.
Oh, thanks.
Like, there's a lot of stuff here for everybody to dive into. Now, I know that you said you've got boxes and boxes of this story. How many? I mean, this may be a loaded question, but how many issues of Infinitale Chronicles do you think you have in you?
I'm hoping I can complete the War of the Tree saga, which is about 10 books.
Oh wow! Okay.
If I can get that out. My next kind of choice will be, do I then move on to the Empires of Ruin saga, which is another 10 books, and it's about it kind of, those two books are kind of the historical primer to the tabletop role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that I introduce the player or the audience to this world, get them introduced to the characters, see all the different races and settings, all this stuff, and then give them the tools to make their own stories in that world.
Awesome. Okay, so this will then dovetail into the RPG that you set up years and years ago. Right on, man. Now the game system, is it still your original game system, or have there been like modern additions to it?
Oh, it's a game system. I'm sure I'm gonna have to do all sorts of beta testing again.
Right.
Refining this and fixing that. But yeah, it started as a, again, as a dumb kid, I wanted to make something that was accessible. That, like what is it? The ultimate game design is easy to pick up, difficult to master.
Right. So, and difficult to put down. Yeah,
and a lot of TTRPGs, especially like the Dungeons and Dragons one, like God, you get into like version 3 or whatever, you need a damn website just to build your character.
Yes.
And it's like that's an intimidating barrier to entry. Like I want to make this a little easier. So
I think there's a reason why a lot of people did not play 3rd edition.
Yeah, it's like you get all the min-maxers in there and they suck all the fun out of it, and it's like, oh, you created a gimpy character. That's like, I just made a character. I didn't realize there were like all these hidden rules that I needed to adhere to.
Right. Min-maxers suck the fun out of everything. Let's be honest. I mean, sure, when in a video game, min-maxing is fine, but in an RPG, make a character that you're going to have fun with, that you can tell a story with, because this isn't a video game when you're doing a tabletop RPG. It's a collective storytelling session with other people. You're all adding to the story, and you're playing a character. You're not, this super-powered Mary Sue or Mary Stu. You got to have flaws and foibles, and, you got to be real characters. This is an impressive campaign, man. Holy crap. I mean, I'm just blown away by the sheer amount of content. So War of Trees has at least 8 more books in it, and obviously listening to Chris talk, you guys, there's so much more story that could be coming out with this. So Feline has dropped a link to get your hot elf chick card here. This is my hot elf chick. I've got photographic proof of it as well. Oh yeah. But yeah, she's got the link there. Go ahead and hit that link and go check out this campaign. Dr. Mask says, and the map is on canvas. Hats off to you on that, man. 16 by 20 canvas map. Holy shit.
Yeah, like one of the mistakes I made with the first campaign was that 19 by 27 inch double-sided poster.
Yeah.
I'm an anti-folder.
Oh yes, good.
Like, yeah, so I shipped everything in these like rigid tubes, roll them up and make sure they're, well, unfortunately, when you're shipping to like New Zealand or Europe and you've got this non-stackable, odd-shaped box,
yes,
they tend to charge you a lot of money for that.
So shipping is a nightmare.
So part of that was, I was like, well, how can I still provide, like a nice big like poster or whatever without it, being folded or being charged, insane for shipping. And I thought, screw it, we'll make it canvas, make a legit canvas map. Yes. And that sucker is folded. Like, it's folded, but you can lay that sucker out and within like an hour, it'll completely decrease.
I mean, just lightly use a hair dryer and then, smooth it out. You'll be fine. Fine. And I see you've also got retail bundles. That's awesome. I love seeing that. I realize that retailers don't often troll Indiegogo or Kickstarter to pick up books for the shop, but they really should, because the retailer bundles are great to get new stories into their shops, new blood, So I love seeing it on campaigns. I realize that sometimes it's a crapshoot whether or not any hey, somebody picked up the manga retail bundle. That's good. See, they're paying attention to their audience coming into the shop. So I think the more and more that this becomes available, especially since as we all know, Diamond has shit the bed. and comics are scrambling for new distribution, enterprising retailers may start paying attention to the crowdfunding scene if they weren't already. I think this is a good idea to have the retailer bundles, man.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is just impressive.
Well, yeah, we also, so not only did we reach funding on Bancroft's like within the hour on Friday, we also blew past the first stretch goal, which is
hell yeah, hail the Bancroft bump.
Hell yeah. The Bancroft bump is real.
It is.
We ended up going through the first stretch goal, which is everybody that backs a physical book will get a free 2-sided bookmark that's spot UV. On one side, it's got that painting by Clark O'Clesa there. You can see it there on the cover. And then on the other side, it's got the language, which is this that some of the characters speak, and you can actually translate what they're saying with that card. So that when they're,
nice. Okay.
Yeah,
that's like the secret decoder ring and stuff. That's really cool.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then and we ended up 24 hours later getting the second stretch goal, which is free 36-page black and white chapter 1 of book 3. So
Holy
and it's
cow.
it's done by Miriam. So everybody that's backed the physical books will get a free 36-page additional book, and then if you back the digital campaign, you'll get the PDF version of that.
Wow. So I don't know if you guys have been able to tell, but Chris going to take care of you. You back this campaign, you're going to get a lot of cool stuff, a lot of great story, and a lot of nice little perks. So now, as I said in my tweet, thank you all for showing up and hanging out with us. But now you see why this campaign funded within the first hour of being live. This is the way to do it, man. This is the way. This is how you launch a campaign with a lot. Look at all of this stuff that's available. Only $15 for the canvas map. Come on, y'all. Like seriously, that's a steal. And if you just want the books, 2-book bundle, $38. It comes in the slipcase. That's you can't beat that, man. Again, this is an incredible campaign, man. We haven't even watched the trailer yet. We've just been talking about the book. Let's take a look at your trailer real quick.
All right.
Knowledge is like a seed. When sown in fertile minds, it opens doors to new possibilities. Truth, once buried by the ages, is again revealed. The unimaginable becomes demystified. New wonders are discovered that transcend the limitations of previous understanding. However, some doors should never be opened. Our tale continues with the divergent paths of our heroes. As a naive king toils with ancient powers beyond his control, a grieving queen makes a fateful decision that forever changes their world. Infinitale Chronicles. The War of the Trees.
Very cool, man.
Oh,
now,
thanks.
who did your trailer for you?
I did.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thanks.
That is a good looking trailer.
Thanks.
I'm of the opinion that that campaign should have a good trailer because it helps pull the people into the world initially, especially when they're coming to the page and seeing it for the first time. Having a fire trailer, as Feline says, it really does whet the appetite for the book, and it sets the stage for people to really be interested in what's being shown to them. So hats off to you, man.
Oh, thanks.
Dr. Mass says, yeah, min-max is the worst. This from a recovering HeroClix player. Oh, bro. You and me both. I still have all of my HeroClix. I used to make custom HeroClix. The comic shop I worked at up in New Hampshire, we would have like a box of like loose HeroClix that people would come in and buy. And so there would always be like little pieces that would break off and whatnot. So I would get the busted ones and I would make my own. I made a Blade HeroClix before there was one. I made a Deadpool HeroClix before there was one. Even there was even like a dial maker, so you could print it out, stick it on the base, and then you legit had a HeroClix. So yeah. I actually kind of miss the old days of HeroClix. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Dude, this campaign is amazing. The book looks beautiful, and I appreciate all the work that you've put into not just the book, but the campaign. You've obviously given it a lot of thought, and you've considered the people that are going to be backing you, and it shows. It shows in the response that you've gotten from people. So hats off to you, sir.
Thanks. Yeah, like I'm just, like when you're writing comics and stuff, it's like you got to ask that question. What is the goal of this? Like what do you want to do? What do you want to get out of this? And my thing is I wrote this story, years and years ago, a collaborative story. If you because it's all the players and stuff. Like the main, like Aisling here, her the player who played her ended up naming her daughter Aisling. So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, clearly it left some type of mark on her. But like
absolutely.
When I created the comic, like I wanted to tell a story that wasn't like, what is it? Lectures are for the classroom, sermons are for the pulpit. This is entertainment. This is to go back to that escapism that we kind of lost with like the Zoomer or like the young millennial writing, where they're all winking at the camera and everything is ironic and nudge and
right. Can't actually enjoy anything. It's got I enjoy it ironically. No, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, this harkens back to those the 80s and 90s where like I want emotional resonance. I want people to be invested in this. And I if I succeed at what I'm trying to do, like I want to make people cry.
You're taking people on a journey. The whole point of reading a book is to go on a journey with these characters. You want to go on an adventure. That's what makes you care about the story. Like, all this stuff is happening to these characters. Well, why do I care if it's not entertaining?
Exactly.
And I think that's a large problem with a lot of media that's produced, not just comics, but TV shows, movies. I mean, a lot of this stuff it's not any fun. There's little bits of like light peeking through these clouds, but for the most part, it's just like it's all gray and blah. So I applaud you for bringing back story first. Tell an emotionally resonating story and take people on an adventure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, hopefully, you can escape the doldrums of what has become of modern society, if not for a short while.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the whole point of stories. They're supposed to let you escape. That's novels, man. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, to deal with some of the stuff that he was dealing with, and to take people on an adventure and to help them, the escapism, escaping from the real world into a fantasy world. And there are all kinds of life lessons that can be learned through fiction. Just because it's fiction doesn't mean there's not some truth in there. The best way to teach somebody something is through a story. That's why parables were, the most effective way to teach a lesson in ye olden times, in the ancient times. Storytelling is the oldest profession in the world, man. And arguably one of the most important, because that's how we recorded our history for so long, is through stories.
And I found that like when people were reviewing the first book, again, I'm not telling people what to get out of the book. So
Right.
it was really cool to see everybody's interpretations and how different they were. Like one person was reading it because like the book explores things like, you know, Plato's allegory,
Right.
you know, talks about what reality is. And like, you know, it opens with this blissful, ageless, perma beauty, pretty people with problems, utopia. And, you know, one day they're asked to do something that they really don't want to do. And then when they defy that, that entire reality crumbles around. And it's like, were you really in a utopia to begin with? If you just did this one thing and suddenly, so,
Right.
you know, and I got people saying, oh, this is like an allegory for the government. Like it's what happens when totalitarianism turns into despotism and stuff. This is why, you know, freedom is so important. And then I got other people that are like, oh yeah, this is totally like escaping an abusive relationship or, you know, something like that. And it's like, yeah, I'm glad that people are getting different things from this.
Well, that's, to me, that's how you know that you've got a well-told story, when people get multiple, like people pick up on different themes. You know, maybe, you know, that wasn't necessarily like the main theme you had in your head while you were thinking, while you were writing it, but, you know, it came through and people pick up on that. I think that's earmarkings of a well-told story, that multiple people get multiple different things from it. And they find things that resonate with them, you know. So I think that's a good thing. I think that means you did your job correctly, sir.
All right.
All right. Well, we've been going for about an hour and a half now. I really have enjoyed this conversation, Chris. I'm sad that this is, you know, it's taken us so long to get you on the show, man. But I do hope you come back with the next book and come hang out and talk more comics and video games and RPGs, man. It's, you know, I love this stuff, and I can talk about it for hours and hours. Clearly, is there anything else you'd like to say about Infinitale Chronicles or this book, or what? Actually, before we go, what is next for you after this one fulfills?
So after this one fulfills, the crowdfunding book becomes a retail book that will go up on Amazon.
Yes.
So you can get the retail edition, and conducting that experiment with the 3 different editions, whichever one gets back the most, that will be the retail edition, and that will be the future of the series. So.
All right, so whichever version you like the best, make sure you back it and back it twice. That way it gets the most votes. That's how this works, right?
Yeah. And then whatever we get from that, Dario and I are going to release book 3, and then hopefully book 4, and so on until we get to the book 10.
Awesome. Well, I want to see you reach all the way up to book 10. I want to see, like, on the campaign after book 10, I want to see like this big honking chonking omnibus. You know, one of those things that'll just break your table you set it on. You know, that's what I want to see. Hardcover and everything. Yeah. Exactly. Maybe like a little metal lock on the front, you know, like just this big wizard's tome of Infinitale Chronicles.
Yes.
That's right. Well, only you guys can make that happen. So hit that link that Feline has so graciously dropped in the chat for you. Go get yourself a Hot Elf Chick card. Hot Elf Chick card. Let me clarify. This is the internet after all. And go back this book. Reward Chris's hard work and get yourself some awesome fantasy content. Chris, thank you so much for coming to hang out, man. This has been an absolute blast. Chat, you guys are amazing. And remember,
Shop smart, shop S smart.